What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into some of the most insane accidental discoveries in history. I'm talking about people who were just going about their day, minding their own business, and then, bam! They stumble upon a treasure that literally changes the world. We're not talking about finding a $20 bill on the sidewalk. We're talking about discoveries so massive, so unbelievable, that they sound like they're straight out of a movie. You are not going to believe what these people found. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be looking at your own backyard a little differently. I've brought together 5 of the most mind-blowing stories you've ever heard. 1. The Staffordshire Hoard. 2. The Rosetta Stone. 3. The Terracotta Army. Alright, kicking things off, we have the story of Terry Herbert. Now Terry is just a regular guy from Staffordshire, England. He's an amateur metal detectorist, and he spends his free time sweeping fields, hoping to find a cool old coin or maybe a buckle. It's a hobby, you know? Something to do on a summer afternoon. So, in July 2009, Terry gets permission from a local farmer friend to search one of his fields. A field that had been plowed for generations. Nothing special about it, or so he thought. Terry fires up his trusty 14-year-old metal detector and starts walking. For 5 days he finds nothing but junk. The usual stuff. But then, on the 5th day, his detector starts screaming. It's a strong signal, so he starts digging. He pulls out a piece of muddy metal. He wipes it off and realizes it's gold. An ancient piece of gold. He thinks, wow, that's a nice find. But then the detector goes off again, and again, and again. Every time he swings the detector, it's just beep, beep, beep. He's not just finding 1 or 2 items, he's pulling out handfuls of gold. Gold sword hilts, pieces of helmets, intricate crosses, all decorated with precious gems. Terry said he was literally seeing gold in his sleep. He filled 244 bags with artifacts from this one spot. They excavate the area methodically, and what they uncover is just staggering. Over 4,600 fragments, making up more than 1,500 objects. It contained 11 pounds of gold and 3 pounds of silver. This wasn't just any treasure. It was the largest hoard of Anglo-Saxon gold and silver metalwork ever found anywhere in the world. It completely rewrote what historians thought they knew about this period of English history. They called it the Staffordshire Hoard. Experts believe the hoard was battle loot, stripped from the swords and armor of defeated enemies and buried for safekeeping by a powerful king, then forgotten for 1,300 years. The hoard was officially declared treasure and valued at over £3.285 million, more than $4 million US. The money was split 50-50 between Terry and the farmer who owned the land. Imagine that, a regular guy, a normal hobby, and a discovery that changes history and his life forever. It just goes to show you that there is still so much treasure hidden right beneath our feet, waiting for someone to accidentally stumble upon it. Okay, next up we're going from a field in England to the deserts of Egypt in 1799. Napoleon Bonaparte is on his campaign and a group of French soldiers are stationed near Rosetta. Their job isn't treasure hunting, it's rebuilding Fort Julian. It's hot, boring work. As his men tear it down, they spot one slab of black stone. It's different from the rest. Large, flat, covered in writing, not one script. 3 different scripts, all carved into the surface. It was unlike anything they'd seen. Bouchard realizes it could be important. Top script, ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. Middle script, Demotic. Bottom script, ancient Greek. If all 3 say the same thing, the Greek could unlock the hieroglyphs. Eureka moment. For 20 years, scholars across Europe raced to crack the code. Breakthrough, Jean-François Champollion. In 1822 he cracked it. Hieroglyphs were alphabetic signs, syllabic signs, and ideographic signs. He unlocked the language of the pharaohs. Think about that. Walls of Karnak, the Book of the Dead, Tutankhamun, Ramses the Great. Egyptology exploded into existence because of one accidental find. A slab meant for building became one of the most important archaeological discoveries of all time. Absolutely insane. From a slab used for building material to the dictionary that opened ancient Egypt to the modern world, all found by accident in the heat of war. This next one is one of my favorite stories ever. So it's March 1974 in rural China. A group of local farmers led by a man named Yang Jifa are dealing with a drought. They desperately need water for their crops, so they decide to dig a new well. They pick a spot in a persimmon orchard about a mile from the tomb of China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang. Then, at about 5 meters deep, one of their shovels hits something hard. Not a rock. They clear away the dirt and find a strange, reddish pottery fragment. Then they uncover a life-sized head made of terracotta. They had just found a clay man. At first they were confused, maybe even a little scared. They found more and more body parts, torsos, arms, legs, all made of this baked clay. They even found bronze crossbow triggers and arrowheads. They didn't know what it was, but they knew it was ancient and probably valuable. Some of the farmers took fragments home to use or sell. Young Zhifa, however, realized this was something much bigger and reported it. Word traveled fast, and soon, a team of archaeologists from Beijing arrived at this little village. When they started their official excavation, their jaws hit the floor. It wasn't just one statue, it was an entire army of life-sized terracotta soldiers, buried in massive pits, standing in battle formation as if ready to march. And here's the craziest part, every single soldier is unique, no two faces are the same. Archaeologists have excavated 3 main pits and estimate there are over 8,000 soldiers plus chariots and horses. An army on an industrial scale. 130 chariots, 520 horses, 150 cavalry horses. The scale is impossible to comprehend. The level of detail is just breathtaking. These weren't mass-produced statues, they were individual works of art created on an industrial scale. The army is just one part of a massive necropolis that covers nearly 22 square miles. The central tomb of the emperor himself has never been opened. Ancient texts say it contains a map of his empire with rivers of flowing mercury and a ceiling studded with pearls to look like the night sky. Archaeologists are afraid to open it because they don't want to damage whatever treasures are inside. So, a group of farmers just looking for water accidentally uncovered a secret army that had been hidden from the world for over 2 millennia. The Terracotta Army is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site visited by millions. And it all started because of a drought and a shovel. Their simple act of digging a well opened a window into the mind of one of history's most powerful emperors. Unbelievable. Get ready for this one because it sounds like it's straight out of the Bible itself. We're in 1947, near Qumran on the shore of the Dead Sea. A young Bedouin shepherd boy, Muhammad Ed-Dib, is out with his flock. One of his goats goes missing. He goes looking for it and spots a small dark opening to a cave high on a cliff that he'd never noticed before. Being a clever kid, he picks up a rock and tosses it into the cave. Instead of a clatter, he hears the distinct crack of shattering pottery. Curious, he climbs up and squeezes through the opening. Inside, his eyes adjust to the dim light and he finds tall, narrow clay jars, some sealed, some with lids still on. He lifts a lid and peers inside. Not gold, not jewels. Old brittle scrolls wrapped in linen. He and his cousins take the scrolls back to their camp and eventually try to sell them to an antiquities dealer in Bethlehem. Scholars examined the texts and were stunned. These ancient Hebrew manuscripts were older than any known copies of the Hebrew Bible by 1,000 years. This led to a frantic search of nearby caves. Over the next decade, Bedouins and researchers discovered 10 more caves containing scrolls, uncovering a massive library of over 900 different manuscripts that became known as the Dead Sea Scrolls. They include the oldest known copies of books from the Hebrew Bible as well as other sectarian writings, giving us an unprecedented look at Judaism during the Second Temple period. This was a monumental discovery. It rewrote aspects of religious history, confirmed textual traditions, and deepened our understanding of the world Jesus lived in. All of this happened because a goat wandered off and a shepherd boy got curious and threw a rock into a cave. It's a perfect example of how a tiny random accident can have consequences that echo through history. The Dead Sea Scrolls are considered by many to be the greatest manuscript discovery of modern times. Next up, a 17,000-year-old art gallery found by teenagers and a dog. For our final story, we're going back to 1940 in the Dordogne region of France. 4 teenagers were out for a walk with a dog named Robot. Robot suddenly chases a rabbit and disappears into undergrowth. The boys follow, calling his name. They find a deep hole hidden by roots, a hole left by an uprooted tree. Marcel squeezes in to rescue his dog. As they light a match to see, the match reveals a huge painted bull on the cave wall. They were standing in a massive cave, walls and ceiling covered in paintings. Massive bulls, herds of horses, charging bison, graceful deer. The colors, red, yellow, black, were vivid. One bull measured up to 17 feet long. The boys kept their discovery a secret for a few days, then returned with better lights to explore the vast chambers. The main chamber, the Hall of the Bulls, had 4 huge black bulls, including one of the largest single cave painting figures ever found. They told their schoolteacher experts were called in, and the world of archaeology was stunned. The cave was opened to the public after the war, a huge mistake. The breath, heat, and lights of visitors began to damage the paintings. Algae and fungus started to grow on the walls. By 1963, the French government closed the cave to preserve it. To share its beauty, the French built an exact replica called Lascaux II, later more advanced replicas, so millions can experience it safely. A dog chasing a rabbit led to one of the most important and beautiful examples of human creativity. A perfectly preserved window into a lost world, absolutely legendary. From 4 teenagers and a playful terrier to a UNESCO-level masterpiece, what a finish. And that's a wrap! From millions in Anglo-Saxon gold to a secret army of clay soldiers, to a 17,000-year-old art gallery. It's mind-blowing. Now I want to hear from you guys. What's the most amazing or valuable thing you've ever found by accident? If you had as much fun as I did, destroy that like button and subscribe. Click the bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. See you next time.